The bar was dimly lit, filled with shadows that danced along the wooden walls. The air was thick with the scent of aged whiskey and the murmur of hushed conversations. In the corner, Major Cole sat alone, his glass of bourbon swirling in front of him. He stared at it, lost in thought, the amber liquid catching the faint light and glinting like a memory he couldn't quite grasp. The remnants of the Titan war lingered in the air, heavy and unyielding, wrapping around him like a shroud. Across the table, Talon, the Redelian commander, leaned back in his chair, his gray skin contrasting starkly against the worn upholstery. His eyes, deep-set and keen, scanned the room, taking in the sights and sounds of a world still recovering from chaos. They were an odd pair, human and alien, once enemies now allies, united by the scars of battle and the shared weight of survival. Cole raised his glass in a silent toast to the ghosts of his past, men who had stood beside him, only to fall in the relentless tide of war. To the fallen, he murmured, though the words were swallowed by the cacophony of the bar. Talon watched him, a flicker of understanding crossing his features. He knew what the human was feeling, the weight of loss that hung between them like a shadow. As the memories surged, Cole found himself transported back to a different time, a time when he was just a young man with dreams of heroism. He recalled the day he enlisted, the excitement thrumming in his veins as he stood in line with a group of fresh recruits, all eager to fight for their country. His father, a veteran of the last Great War, had stood beside him, pride swelling in his chest. "You'll make us proud, son," he had said, clapping Cole on the shoulder. But pride came at a cost. As he rose through the ranks, the reality of war unveiled itself in brutal fashion. Cole had seen things no one should witness, friends torn apart, lives extinguished in an instant, and the relentless march of titans that seemed unstoppable. The memories haunted him still, replaying like a broken record in his mind. His family had been supportive, writing letters filled with love and encouragement, but as the war dragged on, the letters grew fewer. They didn't understand the horrors he faced daily, the nightmares that stalked him even in sleep. Each letter was a reminder of what he fought for, and yet, as he held them, he felt a pang of guilt. How could he return home, a hero, when so many had died in his place? Talon's journey was different, but no less painful. In the heart of the Redelian Federation, where honor was paramount and war a means to prove one's worth, he had trained as a soldier from a young age. His family had a legacy of military service, and the pressure to excel weighed heavily on him. He recalled the day he received his command, the pride swelling in his chest as he donned the uniform of his ancestors. But the Titans had changed everything. The day they first attacked his home planet was etched in his mind, flames licking the sky, buildings crumbling under the weight of their assault. Talon had fought valiantly, commanding his troops with an iron fist, but he had watched helplessly as his men fell, one by one, before the onslaught of the Titans. Loss became a familiar companion. The faces of his comrades haunted him, their eyes wide with fear as they fell in battle. Talon had fought hard to keep his people safe, but it seemed the more he fought, the more he lost. The Titans had taken his brother, a wound that had never healed. He vowed to avenge every fallen comrade, every lost soul, no matter the cost. The first Titan attack had been like a nightmare come to life. It began with a thunderous roar, shaking the ground beneath them, followed by the sight of immense shapes lumbering through the clouds. Cole remembered the day vividly, the confusion that ensued as reports flooded in from the front lines. The Titans' colossal forms had cast shadows over cities, extinguishing hope with each step they took. Chaos erupted as the military scrambled to respond. Cole had been stationed at a command center when the first reports of the attack came in. He watched as soldiers rushed to arm themselves, panic etched on their faces. Talon's ships had arrived just in time, a coalition formed out of desperation and necessity. The first encounter was nothing short of disastrous. Cole and Talon had been thrust into the fray together, each commanding their respective troops with the weight of their worlds on their shoulders. It was a clash of titans, human ingenuity against the raw, unyielding force of the Titans. Months later, they would find themselves at the mountain pass, a crucial battleground that would determine the course of the war. The terrain was treacherous, the air thick with anticipation. Cole and Talon stood at the forefront, strategizing how to handle the impending assault. "We need to divide our forces," Talon suggested, his voice steady despite the tension in the air. "If we spread out, we can use the landscape to our advantage." Cole nodded, appreciating the Redellion's insight. "But we'll need to stay close enough to support each other. If one unit falls, the other must be ready to engage." As they devised their plan, the sound of distant thunder echoed through the valley. The Titans were approaching. Cole felt a knot tighten in his stomach, a premonition of the chaos to come. The battlefield would soon become a testament to their courage and their determination. When the Titans finally emerged from the fog, the sight was horrifying. 6 massive figures, each towering over them, advanced with terrifying purpose. Cole's heart raced as he recalled the training drills, the countless hours spent preparing for a moment like this. He glanced at Talon, whose expression was unreadable, but the tension in his shoulders spoke volumes. "Remember your training," Cole urged his men, his voice rising above the din of fear. "We are not alone. We fight together." With that rallying cry, the battle commenced. Explosions rocked the mountainside as rockets soared toward the Titans. The air was filled with screams, gunfire, and the thunderous footsteps of the advancing giants. Cole fought fiercely, his weapon a blur in his hands, but even as he fired, he could see his men falling around him, their bodies succumbing to the Titans' might. Talon fought beside him, a whirlwind of calculated ferocity, his instincts honed from a lifetime of battle. They moved as a unit, 2 forces intertwined, each protecting the other as they faced the insurmountable. But as the battle raged, it became painfully clear that no amount of bravery could stand against the Titans' relentless advance. The ambush had been meticulously planned, yet as the Titans breached their defenses, doubt gnawed at Cole. Would they survive? Would their efforts be in vain? Cole had known fear before, but it had never been so palpable. He could feel it creeping in, seeping through the cracks of his resolve, threatening to overwhelm him. But he fought against it, gritting his teeth as he fired again, focusing on the mission. "Hold the line," he shouted, his voice hoarse, but the determination in his heart burned brighter than ever. Around him, chaos reigned. Soldiers screamed, some in pain, others calling for their comrades. The Titans pressed on, their massive forms pushing through the remnants of their defenses like a tidal wave. Cole's heart raced as he watched one of his soldiers, a young man with a bright smile and dreams of returning home, fall to the ground, his body crumpling under the weight of a Titan's foot. The sight sent a cold shiver down Cole's spine, a visceral reminder of the price they were paying. Beside him, Talon was a force of nature. His movements were fluid, his strikes precise. The Redelian commander wielded his weapon with an elegance that belied the violence of the battlefield. Cole admired his resolve, the way Talon fought not just for survival but for a cause that transcended their differences. They were no longer just a human and a Redelian, they were brothers in arms, bound by the shared agony of war. As the battle continued, they began to coordinate their attacks, Cole's unit covering Talon's flank as they faced off against the Titans. Together, they found a rhythm, each anticipating the other's moves. The battlefield was a chaotic dance, each soldier playing a part in a tragic symphony of war. But even as they fought, the Titans continued their assault, relentless and unyielding. Cole watched as Talon took down one of the massive creatures, his weapon finding a weak spot in the Titan's armor. The Redelian let out a roar of triumph, a primal sound that resonated in the depths of Cole's soul. It was a moment of victory amid the chaos, a flicker of hope. Yet, that hope was short-lived. Another Titan emerged from the shadows, its presence looming like a dark omen. It charged forward, its eyes fixed on Talon, who was momentarily distracted by the fallen creature. Cole's heart raced as he screamed a warning, but it was too late. The Titan's enormous hand swept through the air, crashing down toward Talon with devastating force. Cole's instincts kicked in, and he lunged forward, shoving Talon out of the way just in time. The impact sent shockwaves through the ground, and Cole felt the air leave his lungs as he struggled to regain his footing. Cole! Talon's voice was filled with panic as he turned to help his fallen friend, but Cole waved him off, forcing a smile despite the pain coursing through his body. "I'm fine," he lied, but the weight of his injuries was becoming unbearable. Still, he pushed through the haze of pain, gripping his weapon tightly. "We have to keep fighting." They fought on, but the tide of battle was turning against them. One by one, Cole's men were falling, the sound of gunfire giving way to a haunting silence. The Titans moved with a purpose, each step bringing them closer to the heart of their defenses. It was as if they were driven by a singular desire, to crush everything in their path. As the chaos erupted around them, Cole's thoughts drifted back to his family, to the home he fought for. He had promised to return, to rebuild what had been lost, but now the weight of his duty felt heavier than ever. Would he be able to keep that promise? The question haunted him, a specter lurking just beyond his reach. In that moment of despair, Talon fought with a fierce intensity, channeling his anger into each strike. "We must rally the others," he shouted over the din, and Cole nodded, determination flickering to life within him once more. With newfound resolve, they pushed forward, rallying what remained of their forces. The battlefield became a whirlwind of motion as they called for regrouping, using the terrain to their advantage. It was a desperate strategy, but it was their only chance. As they moved, Cole noticed a young soldier named Reyes, who had been fighting bravely but was now visibly shaken. Cole approached him, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "Stay with us, Reyes. You're not alone. We fight together." Reyes nodded, though fear clouded his eyes. Cole could see the boy was on the brink of breaking, and he understood all too well the toll the war had taken on their spirits. "Listen to me," Cole continued, his voice steady. "We've faced worse than this. Remember why we fight. For our families, for our homes. We can't let the Titans win." In that moment, something shifted in Reyes. A flicker of determination ignited, and he straightened his posture, gripping his weapon tighter. Cole felt a surge of hope. Perhaps they could rally together, become stronger than the sum of their parts. As they regrouped, Cole could feel the atmosphere change. There was a collective determination in the air, a silent promise that they would not let fear dictate their fate. Talon rallied the Redelian soldiers, their alien strength complementing the human spirit in a way that felt almost mystical. With renewed vigor, they charged back into the fray, the Titans towering before them like ancient gods intent on destruction. Cole fought alongside Talon, their movements synchronized as they weaved through the chaos, using every ounce of skill and instinct they had honed over the years. The battle waged on, a brutal contest of wills as they faced the Titans head-on. Each clash was a symphony of chaos, the sound of weapons meeting flesh mingling with the cries of the fallen. But even as the tide began to shift in their favor, Cole knew the battle was far from over. Then, amidst the chaos, Cole spotted a figure, a Titan, larger than the rest, looming in the distance. It was unlike anything he had ever seen, its skin glistening like obsidian under the sun, eyes glinting with malevolence. The creature advanced with a deliberate purpose, and Cole felt a chill run down his spine. This was no ordinary Titan, this was a commander, a leader among the giants. "Talon!" Cole shouted, urgency lacing his tone. "We have to take that one down." Talon nodded, his expression resolute. They would need to work together, combining their strengths in a way they had never done before. Cole could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on them, the stakes higher than ever. With the remaining soldiers rallying behind them, Cole and Talon surged forward, determined to confront the Titan commander. The path was fraught with peril as they fought their way through lesser Titans, each step drawing them closer to the formidable creature that awaited them. As they drew near, the Titan commander let out a roar that shook the ground beneath their feet. The sound reverberated through Cole's bones, but he pressed on, fueled by adrenaline and a deep-seated desire to protect those he cared about. Talon stood beside him, his eyes narrowing as he assessed the Titan's movements, searching for a weakness. On my mark, Talon said, his voice steady and calm. Cole nodded, feeling the tension coiling in the air as they prepared to strike. They were no longer just two soldiers, they were a united front against an unstoppable force. With a fierce battle cry, Talon launched himself at the Titan, a blur of motion as he evaded the creature's grasp. Cole followed closely, their movements synchronized like a well-rehearsed dance. The Titan swung its massive arm, but Talon ducked just in time, firing his weapon at the creature's exposed flank. Cole took advantage of the distraction, sprinting forward to flank the Titan. He could feel the heat radiating from the creature, the ground trembling beneath its weight. With each shot he fired, he felt the power of their combined efforts resonating through him. They were fighting not just for survival but for the memory of every life lost to the Titans. But as they fought, the Titan commander retaliated, swinging its arm with brutal force. Cole barely dodged in time, rolling to the side as the ground erupted in a cloud of dust and debris. The world around him blurred, but he focused on the Titan, determined to find a way to defeat it. Talon was relentless, targeting the weak points of the Titan's armor with precision. With every strike, the creature staggered, its movements growing more erratic. Cole seized the moment, charging forward with all his strength. He had to reach the Titan's core, the source of its power. The battle was fierce, each moment stretching into an eternity as they fought against the monstrous beast. Cole's heart raced, fear mingling with exhilaration as he felt the tide shifting. The Titan was weakening, and for the first time, hope flickered in his chest. Now! Talon shouted, his voice cutting through the chaos. With a final surge of energy, they launched their combined assault, Cole's weapon finding its mark as Talon delivered a devastating blow. The Titan let out a roar of agony, the sound echoing across the battlefield as it stumbled, finally collapsing to the ground. As the dust settled, Cole stood panting, disbelief washing over him. They had done it. Together, they had defeated the Titan commander. The battlefield fell silent, the weight of their victory pressing down on them like a warm blanket. But even in triumph, the losses were palpable. Cole looked around at the faces of his comrades, weary and battered, the remnants of a fierce battle etched into their features. They had won this fight, but at what cost? The reality of their sacrifices settled over him, a bitter reminder of the war they were waging. Talon approached him, a grim expression on his face. We need to regroup and tend to the wounded. There's still much to be done. Cole nodded, his heart heavy as he surveyed the aftermath. The battlefield was littered with the remnants of their struggle, a stark reminder of the sacrifices made. But amid the devastation, he felt a flicker of hope. They had faced insurmountable odds and emerged victorious, a testament to their strength and resilience. As they gathered their remaining forces, Cole found solace in the bonds formed in the crucible of war. The camaraderie forged through shared pain and loss became a beacon of light in the darkness. They were more than soldiers, they were a family, united in their fight against the Titans. Days turned into weeks as they regrouped and prepared for the next battle. Each soldier carried the weight of their experiences, the memories of those lost driving them forward. Cole found himself standing alongside Talon more often, their partnership evolving into a deep friendship. They confided in each other, sharing stories of their homes, their families, and the dreams they held onto amidst the chaos. In the evenings, they would gather around a fire, the flickering flames casting shadows on their faces. They spoke of hope and resilience, of a future beyond the war. Cole shared tales of his childhood, the laughter of his family echoing in his memories. Talon spoke of the beauty of Redelia, of the vast landscapes and the stars that filled the sky. These moments became a sanctuary, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there was still light to be found. Together, they forged a bond that transcended their differences, each drawing strength from the other as they prepared for the challenges ahead. But the Titans were relentless. Each battle brought new challenges, new horrors to face. The coalition between humans and Rydelians grew stronger, but the cost of victory weighed heavily on them. The battles became a blur, each one blending into the next as they fought against the tide of despair. Through it all, Cole clung to the memories of those he fought for, their faces etched in his mind as he pushed forward. The war had transformed him, hardened him in ways he never imagined, but it had also awakened something deep within him, a fierce determination to protect those he loved. As the war raged on, Cole found himself at the forefront of a pivotal battle, the fate of their alliance hanging in the balance. They had received intelligence of a massive Titan stronghold, a fortress teeming with the enemy. This was their chance to strike back, to take the fight to the Titans and reclaim their world. Talon stood beside him, their eyes locked in a silent agreement. They had come too far to turn back now. With their coalition assembled, they launched their assault, the air thick with anticipation as they charged toward the stronghold. The battle was fierce, a cacophony of sounds that filled the air, explosions, screams, and the relentless thud of Titans advancing. Cole fought with every ounce of strength he had, the adrenaline coursing through his veins as he pushed forward. He could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on him, the responsibility to protect those around him driving him forward. Amidst the chaos, they reached the stronghold's gates, but the Titans were prepared. Waves of soldiers surged forward, determined to defend their territory. Cole fought alongside Talon, their movements synchronized as they faced the onslaught together. But just when it seemed victory was within reach, the ground trembled, and a new Titan emerged, a massive creature, unlike anything they had faced before. It towered over them, its presence casting a shadow that sent a chill down Cole's spine. "We have to take it down," Cole shouted, desperation creeping into his voice. Talon nodded, his expression resolute as they regrouped with their forces. They would need every soldier, every ounce of strength to face this new threat. As the Titan advanced, the coalition fought back with renewed vigor. Explosions rocked the battlefield, the ground trembling underfoot as they launched their assault. Cole felt the fear creeping back in, but he pushed it down, focusing on the task at hand. With every shot fired, every strike landed, they began to wear the Titan down. But it was a fierce battle, one that tested their limits. Cole could see his men faltering, fatigue setting in as the Titan pressed on, relentless and unyielding. In that moment, he found himself reflecting on the journey that had brought him here. The losses, the pain, the sacrifices made along the way, it all weighed heavily on his heart. But it also fueled him, igniting a fire within him that refused to be extinguished. Together, Talon and Cole launched a coordinated attack, their weapons striking true as they targeted the Titan's weak points. The creature let out a roar of anger, staggering under the onslaught. "Now!" Talon shouted, and they pressed forward, giving everything they had. The Titan faltered, its massive form swaying as they pushed through the chaos, determined to claim victory. Finally, with a final surge of energy, they landed a devastating blow, and the Titan collapsed to the ground. The battlefield fell silent as the coalition stared at the fallen giant, disbelief washing over them. They had done it. Together, they had faced the darkness and emerged victorious once more. But even in triumph, the losses were palpable. Cole looked around, taking in the faces of his comrades, weary and battered. Each victory came at a cost, and as they regrouped, he felt the weight of their sacrifices pressing down on him. In the aftermath of the battle, Cole and Talon stood together, surveying the remnants of the stronghold. They had succeeded, but the road ahead was still fraught with danger. The Titans were not finished, they would regroup, adapt, and come back stronger. But as Cole looked at his comrades, he felt a flicker of hope. They had forged bonds that transcended their differences, a unity that had become their greatest strength. Together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, united in their fight against the darkness. In the months that followed, the war continued, each battle a testament to their resolve. Cole found himself growing closer to Talon, their friendship deepening as they faced the challenges of war together. They became not just comrades, but brothers, united by the shared pain of loss and the determination to protect their people. As they prepared for another assault, Cole took a moment to reflect on everything they had been through. The pain, the sacrifice, the camaraderie, it had all shaped him into the person he was today. And as they stood on the precipice of a new battle, he felt a sense of purpose burning within him. "Whatever happens," he said to Talon, his voice steady, "we fight for each other." Talon nodded, determination etched on his features. "Always." With that silent promise hanging in the air, they charged into the fray once more, ready to face whatever darkness awaited them. The Titans were fierce, their assault unrelenting, but together, they fought back with a tenacity that defied the odds. The bond they had forged in battle became their shield, a testament to the strength of unity in the face of adversity. As the war raged on, Cole found himself reflecting on the future. The end of the conflict seemed distant, a mere whisper on the horizon, but he held on to hope. They were fighting for more than just survival, they were fighting for a better world, a future where peace could flourish. The final battle approached, a culmination of everything they had endured. The stakes were higher than ever, but Cole felt an unwavering determination coursing through him. They had come too far to turn back now, and with Talon by his side, he felt invincible. In the heart of the battlefield, amid the chaos of war, Cole realized that the true strength of their alliance lay not just in their individual abilities but in the bonds they had forged. Together, they would face whatever darkness awaited them, united in their fight for a better tomorrow. As the Titans charged forward, Cole stood tall, a fierce resolve burning in his heart. They would fight for each other, for their fallen comrades, and for the hope of a future free from the shadows of war. And in that moment, he knew they would triumph, no matter the odds. Together, they would rise, unstoppable and united, ready to face the dawn of a new era.